attempt to try to do this every 2 weeks, possibly every week, depending on if it helps people, if it doesn't. The main thing I wanted to answer was a few questions that I always get when I do a client's hair. For instance, with blowouts. The biggest question I get all the time is, what product should I use? Am I using the right product? I'll start off with thick hair. If you have thick hair, I have certain clients that have very thick hair that have told me in the past that they use mousse, for instance. Mousse, if you have thick hair and you're using mousse, it should be thrown out. Mousse is for very fine hair that has no body. It was made to give body, basically. What you do is, and most people make the mistake of scrunching their hair with it. The main thing with mousse is just you got to put it on top, say an egg shape, so to speak, or in a small circle at the top at the root. A lot of people make the mistake of scrunching their hair with it, thinking that that's going to give them body. All that's going to do is weigh it down. Mousse was designed to be put on at the root, so when you blow dry it, it expands, and that's what creates your body. Because when you blow dry your hair, you're supposed to be drying it from the root back. In other words, if you're blow drying your hair and you start off at the top, you should take the brush, dry the root first, and then the rest. That creates the body on top. You're going to heat up the mousse. If, per se, this is someone with thin hair using mousse, you're going to heat up the bottom, expand that mousse, which will give you the body, and then continue to dry the rest. I'm trying to think. That's a big question I always get. What product should I use? If you have thick hair, you really, as far as shampoo goes, there's a lot of myths out there. There's thickening shampoos, thinning shampoos, color stay shampoos. Personally, and this is just my opinion, there is no shampoo that can make your hair thicker. There's shampoos out there that will put a coating on your hair that it'll feel thicker, it'll feel heavier. But I personally think that it's all a gimmick. You're paying for what this shampoo is supposed to be doing. If you, as far as shampoos or gels or mousse or serums, anything like that, conditioner, I would say go the middle of the road as far as picking it out. Price-wise, go for something in the middle of the road between $5 or $6. You don't want to get something that's $1. There are certain products or shampoos out there I won't name that are $1. Those are filled with alcohol. You're getting a big bottle for $1 because it's filled with alcohol. So that basically is going to tend to dry your hair out. As far as these shampoos that are $17 and $25, they're claiming to give you extra body or add to enhance the color. Shampoo is shampoo across the board, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. I found through the years and using different shampoos on different clients, you shouldn't be spending, well, you don't have to, I should say, spend $20 on a bottle of shampoo. Like I said, if you go as far as any hair product, shampoo or anything, go the middle of the road, spend $5 or $6, and that's going to do the same job that a $17 bottle of shampoo is going to do. Shampoo shouldn't be done every day. That's just stripping your hair of the natural oils that everybody should have in their hair, which kind of keeps it in good shape. You don't want to leave, if your hair produces excess oil, you have to wash it more frequently, but I would say every 3 days would be the norm. People think, well, my hair is oily or dirty if I don't wash it every day. That's a myth too, unless you're working in a coal mine, which I doubt you are. It's not getting to where it needs to be washed every day. Especially people with fine hair. Because if you're washing your hair every day and then you're conditioning it every day, conditioner is coating it. What conditioner does is it coats it so it feels soft, which is the outcome of conditioner, but the more you use it, the more it's adding a coating onto your hair, so the heavier your hair is going to get. So if you're conditioning it every day, then it's just getting heavier and heavier as you wash it. So, like I said, for the most part, every 3 days is about the norm for washing your hair. Again, and that's on a person-to-person basis, depending on how your hair is. I mean, everybody knows their own hair better, but you don't want to wash it too frequently, whether you have thick or thin hair, because then you're washing away all the good oils that keep your hair moisturized. Let's see, what else? This is the first time I'm ever doing this. I don't know if it's going to be helpful to some people or not, but as far as the guys go, the only thing I can say is, and I still see guys making the same mistake, the guys that are losing their hair on top. If you have that half circle horseshoe hair growing around your head, shave it off. There's no need to hang on to what is no longer there on top. And the whole hair on the sides and the back and your sparse on top just doesn't work. Shave it. You're better off shaving on a one, and it more or less will make it look like you either did it by choice or it's just going to look cleaner all the way around instead of ridiculous. And I think one other thing I wanted to mention, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm kind of just thinking off the top of my head. When you go into a salon, and this goes for the women that bring in a picture, and you say, you give it to whoever's doing your hair and say, I want this. If you're bringing in a picture of Meg Ryan, or let's just, for instance, we'll use Meg Ryan, and you have a head like Humpty Dumpty, not going to work. You have to go with somebody or a picture that's close to your hair, whether it be thick or thin or long or short, and you can't walk in there expecting miracles. I mean, it's a haircut, it's not a facelift, and it's a haircut. I've gotten people come in that bring me pictures and say, this is what I want. Meanwhile, they have a pumpkin-shaped head, and bangs on a pumpkin-shaped head will look awful for the most part, on most people, I feel. But just when you bring in a picture, just make sure it's realistic and you're asking the person that's cutting it to do something realistic. Don't expect to walk out of there looking like whoever you brought in, because that's never going to happen. They might get close, but that's if they know what they're doing and explain to you during the blowout how to blow it out, which I always try to do. You want to blow your hair out from the point of growth. In other words, you're going to blow your side hair out to the side, root first, the top, root first, up, straight up, and the back you can either flip out or under, whichever way you prefer. Layered hair I tend to think tends to look better if you flip out the layers, and then if at the end you go over it with the cool setting on a blow dryer, which is another thing that people don't really get. The cool setting on the blow dryer is to go over your hair at the end to close the follicle, and what it does is it'll get rid of some of the frizz if there's flyaways. You just go over your whole head, whether it be upside down or just in the mirror. Go over it with the cool setting for 5 minutes. That should get rid of a lot of frizz. And let's see, what else can I think of? Hairspray. That's another question I get. That's another product that you can spend a lot of money on. I would never ever recommend a pump hairspray, which are usually the ones that are $1 or $2. First of all, as soon as they hit your hair, they stick like glue and create like a sort of like that nice spider webby, sticky cotton candy feel or look. Not very attractive. Um, Something like Sebastian is great. Again, that's $17 a can. They do have, like CVS for instance, has the knockoff of Sebastian, which is great to use. And when you use an aerosol, which I would always suggest, make sure you're spraying at about 6 inches at least from your head. If you spray it too close, it's not going to give you that movement that you want. Yeah, you're going to have a shell that basically, the closer you spray it, the more it's going to solidify real quick and just not move. You don't want that. Sorry, screen just went black. I'm still learning how to use this webcam. Anyway, I'm going to see how this works out. Like I said, it's the first one. That's about it. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to email me or call me, whatever, if you have my number. If not, just email me. And off the top of my head, that's all I can think of, but I wanted to give this a shot to see if it did help anybody. So if it did, you can like it underneath the video itself. I'm going to put it on YouTube and Facebook. So if it did help, like it or let me know. That's about it. So signing off for now.